Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Amaran Bakar back with another lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who were well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect, man. You know, and I will say this, preface this lesson by stating that, you know, the scriptures say that my heritage, this Lord says, my heritage is as a speckled bird, meaning that we come in different shades, and also we're represented by the seed of our fathers, man. That's how it works. So as long as your father is an Israelite, it doesn't matter what skin tone you are. Okay, but what we're going to talk about is the wheat and the tares, and I'm going to show you something because, you know, even dialing back to the days of our captivity in Babylon, aka America, when, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be surprised at their lineage, man, when it turns out that they're of the seed of the wicked, all right, and not the seed of the righteous. The seed of the wicked being the seed of the Edomites, the so-called white people, man, because they are the wicked, right? But there's a lot of people passing for Israelites, and there's a lot of Edomites. So like, and there's a lot of Israelites passing for Edomites, so on and so forth, for other races as well, so-called races as well. But there's a thing called the Diana Ross effect, and I'm going to show you about it. Let's read it. So it says, the Diana Ross effect refers to a popular internet discussion about her grandchildren due to intermarriage sometimes look less distinctly black, although, you know, we're not black, right? But that's just the terminology we're going to go with, so I'm not going to keep saying that, you know, you understand where I'm coming from, right? Or have different features than she and her children, sparking conversation on family legacy, beauty standards, and representation. Though Ross herself embodies timeless start and resilience, is less formal phenomenon, blah 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 blah. Right, look. What it is? Intergenerational looks. People notice that Diana Ross's grandchildren with mixed race heritage, no such thing, often don't strongly resemble her or their parents in the same way, leading to online conversations about changing looks across generations. It touches on themes of black wealth, of course, overcoming racism, and the nuances of identity as families intermarry. Because look, I'm going to show you something, right? First off, this is why our women are not to be marrying outside of Israel, man. Alright, because it's not like a man. A man carries the seed, so no matter who an Israelite man or any other man or any other nation lays, whatever woman he lays with, the children that woman was going to give birth to are going to be of that man's seed line. So if we have sexual relations, or let's just keep it real, if we marry, right, because sex is marriage, if we marry a woman outside of Israel, be she be Chinese, so-called Moabite, you know, Ammonite, Elamite, whatever, that child that she brings forth is going to be of our kin, of our seed line, right? The Greek word for seed is sperma, right? So of our seed line is going to be an Israelite. But if a woman now, she has no control over the seed, only what seeds are planted in her, has, you know, marries a man outside of Israel, you know, I'm talking about an Israelite woman, marries outside of Israel, one of the heathens, she's just going to produce heathens, man. That's it. And there's no getting around that. So what's happened is Diana Ross is married to a heathen, right? I'm going to have to assume he is one, right? Because he's, you know, he's one of them top, you know, industry guys at the time anyway, so he must have been, right? Anyway, let's assume that he is one. Now she's now produced heathen children, and in turn a lot of those children that she produces, because they grow up in that industry of fame, fortune and importance, they don't look at us the same way. That would be, to them, that would be marrying down. So they ended up, you know, marrying other Edomites, you know, the females, of course, of the family, and they're going to produce more Edomites, which is why you have these images, man, that show you that her grandchildren and that are starting to look like, I don't know if I can enlarge this. I can. And go for the touchscreen, man. Amazing. Right, so now you got these little grandchildren running around looking like Edomites, man, because ultimately that's what they are. They're getting lighter and lighter. You see, there's very few Israelites, and if there are any, he looks like a Jake. That's definitely a Jake there. But all the rest of them, except for Daniel, she's also obviously a Jake. They're Edomites, man. Because it's a class thing as well. They want to keep, they're taught in the industry, white is right and white is so-called white is right and power, right? So now you've done is shifted that wealth into the hands of the wicked, man. That wealth that you accumulated is now in the hands of the wicked. And now on the flip side of it, now we got this man over here, Quincy Jones, right? And all he's ever done is marry Edomite women, right? But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. All that matters is that whatever children he produces, if he produces sons, then those sons are Israelites. If he produces daughters and those daughters marry Edomites, then they're only going to produce Edomites, man. Right, so this is why, in the ancient days, we wouldn't be giving our daughters over to any other tribes, man, any other families, man. We'd be handing them over to men of our own nation, man. Why? To keep it, to strengthen, and that's the way it's supposed to be, right? For us, for our daughters, or for our sons, even though we shouldn't really mingle, if we do, at least we're still bringing forth, Israelites, man. I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to just get into the scripture, and then that will be that. It's going to be a short one, right? So this is called, this is in the Wikipedia, and this picture is called Ham's Redemption, right? Let's get a close up of this, right? So this is I believe, let me just, before I start talking, let me get some information correct, right? So Ham's Redemption in Portuguese, A Redenção de Cam, is an oil painting by Galician painter Modesto Brocas in 1895. Brocas completed the work while teaching at the National School of Fine Arts in Rio de Janeiro, right? The painting deals with the controversial racial theories of the late 19th century and the phenomenon of the search for the gradual branqueamento, or whitening of the generations of the same family through miscegenation, right? So this is Brazilian artwork, right? This is showing a Jake grandmother, right, with her, looks like she's obviously laid with, in fact, let's enlarge this picture, right? She's laid with an Edomite, right? And then her daughter's laid with an Edomite, and look at the result. What do you have right here? An Edomite baby. Look at the pride on this guy's face, man. Right? And she's praying. She's thanking the Most High that now her granddaughter, I believe, is an Edomite. So that's that white supremacy, man. It's always been around. Getting into what it's called Ham's Redemption. Like the redemption is becoming one of them. That's not redemption, man. That's condemnation. Alright, they're fit for destruction. That's it. And it talks about Ham, but ultimately we're not Hamites, man. We're not Hamites. Let me read from the Zondervan real quick. And this is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, page 213, and it's Ham, or Ham, meaning hot, right? It says the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, Canaanites. Excuse me. So we are not of Ham, alright? And neither is this woman depicted, man. She's an Israelite. Ham's already cursed because Ham, along with the other heathens, are going to have to pay for the evils that they've done upon Israel, man. But let's read what it says. The painting is the fruit of a moment of post-emancipation marked by the adhesion of racialism in the public sphere and then the necessity of actions in relation to the destiny of the black and mixed population in the free and republican order. The painting alludes to the first book of the Bible, Genesis chapter 9. In the episode, a drunk and naked Noah is exposed instead of covered by his son Ham to the latter's brothers Shem and Japheth for bringing shame upon him. Noah condemns Ham to be a slave along with his son Canaan, who is cursed as the servant of the servants. Noah prophesied that Ham would be the last of the slaves of his brethren. Ham was pointed out in the Bible as the supposed father of the African races, right? Which is true. But we're not Africans, we're Israelites, man. Alright. But I'm going to be done with this now. This is going to be a quick one. So let's just get to the point. And this is the point, man, because all this mixing up, man, is cause confusion on the earth. But the only man who can separate, what is what through the Spirit and through the truth is Yahushua, man. So this is Matthew 13:24. It says, "Tares among wheat." It says, "Another parable he put forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of the harvest I will say unto the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Right, so you can already see what this is. I can explain it, but it's going to explain it, I believe, down here. Right? Then Yahushua sent the multitude away. And it says, look, the tares explained. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and the disciple came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. See, these were men that was in their learning mode, man. Alright? The disciples were learning from Yahushua. They weren't at that stage of being apostles and that, man. They were learning. They're learning just as we learn. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Right? The enemy that sowed them is the devil. Esau's the devil, man. Right? The deceiver. The harvest is at the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. Right? So when Yahushua comes back, then we will know who is who. Right? The scriptures say what? I'm going to paraphrase it. It says the Spirit, was it Romans 8:16? I believe the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the living power, man, or the Most High. Right? So it's through the Spirit that we know who we are. Right? And we can see through the Spirit, if we can discern it, who are Edomites, man. I found it pretty easy now to recognize Edomites cosplaying as Israelites, man. Alright, they have a particular spirit on them. They talk like them. They believe in the things that they believe. They're more likely to have the ideals of an Edomite than the ideals of an Israelite, because it's just in their spirit. It's a natural thing. It doesn't matter. It's not about the skin tone, man. Alright, I'm gonna quickly get and I'll go back to that to finish it off. Romans 1:18, it says, And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. Right? End of story. Right? So your pedigree is declared by your father, not your mother. Alright, although this world will try and teach you the upside down way, the perverted way, right? That the mother, it's mixed race. No, there's no such thing as mixed race. You are what your father is, man. Simple. So jumping back into Matthew 13. So it says the enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is at the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. So when Yahushua returns with the chariots and the angels, man, right? And the elect are caught up, and those that are of the great multitude are redeemed also. Then those that are of the wicked are going to be destroyed, man. Obadiah 1:18. Alright? That's why it says, as therefore the tears are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. So they're going to get, burnt up, man. Destroyed. Right? It says the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. They shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. That's where they get that wailing and gnashing of teeth, thinking that's talking about hell, whereas it's talking about the world, man, and most importantly, Babylon the Great. Right? Babylon the Great is going to be utterly destroyed by way of fire. That's going to be a sea of fire, as it says in the Revelation 15th chapter, right? It says, then shall the righteous shine forth as the son of the kingdom of their father. Who have ears to hear, let him hear. Right? So, we don't try to really, we might have conversations about when we might talk to people if they're Israelite or whatever, but we're not here trying to say who is who. Right? That Zabak is famous for doing that, man. A lot of times Drakes roll up on him when they say they're from a particular African country, maybe Ghana, Sierra Leone, whatever, Nigeria, and he calls them a heathen, man, a Hamite. This is a man that's very known in the scriptures, but he's not moving in the spirit, man. The spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High, man, or the sons of the Most High. Right? Let Yahushua do that. He's going to deal with that, man. All I know is I'm an Israelite, man. Right? And just to finish the point as well, it's a sad thing because now, because they're rich and famous, they end up dealing with Edomites more than they deal with their own people. Because they think that's the way. We can't, we look white now, so let's just get with white men. Even though our father is a so-called black man, or our mother is a so-called black man, no, they're still not good enough. We have to, and then all that wealth is getting transferred to the wicked, man. Not that it matters, because all it's going to be destroyed anyway, but it's still sad to see. Anyway, man, that's it. Quick hit. When it was edifying. All praises on the glory to Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man, for giving us His truth, man. So we can understand these things and put the spirit on those men above us to be able to teach us this truth, man. Our apostles and the bishops, man. Double honors to them. And to Yakim out there, hope for the elect. Shalom, man. Shalom to the next one.